Wow, wow, wow. Would you look at that, everybody? It is time for the patch notes, 12.15 notes. Now, before I go into this, I want to remind everybody to like the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and that. I'm going to say that at the start because I always forget to do it literally 100% of the time. I forget to do it. Okay. So, what are the highlights of the patch? We have nerfs to Gwen, Kalista, Master Yi, Kiana, Sivir, Talia. We have buffs to AKALI, Kennen, Lee Sin, Leona, Lillia, Rammus, Shen, Singed, Thresh, and Zed. We have system changes coming out for Divine Sunderer, Mercurial Scimitar, Silver Dawn, and First Strike. Now, without further ado, let's go into it. So the first one up is AKALI, a champion who is absolutely fine in every ways and absolutely doesn't need to be buffed at all. Is being buffed by giving more energy, even though she's fine in every way and has absolutely no downside. She's being buffed. Yep, that's just a thing. Yep, okay, great. Yep, this is 12:15, everybody, starting on a high note of buffing a champion who, in absolutely no way, needs to be buffed. Gwen is coming up next. Gwen, a champion that, I mean, we all knew, right? We all knew that Gwen was going to be nerfed. I mean, this should surprise absolutely nobody. This is what happens every single time. Gwen gets buffed, she gets played in pro play, then she gets nerfed. Then Riot does nothing to address her W is way too good in pro play, so then she gets buffed, then she's too good in pro play, and then she gets nerfed. It's a repeating cycle. It will be going on literally forever. It will literally never stop, ever. This will be the rest of your lives. Every patch will be a Gwen buff patch or a Gwen nerf patch. You'll be able to know if you've been asleep for too long because it'll be a Gwen nerf patch when it was supposed to be a Gwen buff patch. That joke doesn't have to make sense. Kalista is being nerfed. Why? Because she's... Well, okay, so here's the thing with Kalista. Every single time Kalista is even the tiniest bit playable in pro play, she is instantly... Or I should say, every time she's the tiniest bit playable in solo queue, she is instantly broken as hell in pro play. So actually, if you look here, if you look at Kalista, seeing a mere 49% win rate, that goes all the way into Masters. Fourth highest pick, 51% win rate. Now, if Kalista has a 52.75% win rate with a 13.6% pick rate and a 48.5% ban rate, that proves that Kalista definitely needs to be nerfed. So it's a good thing she's in this patch, and I really like that this patch hasn't missed anyone. Every broken champion has been nerfed. Next up, we have Kennen. Kennen doesn't need to be buffed at all. Kennen is quite absolutely fine in every way right now. He's not underpowered even slightly, in my opinion. So they're buffing him. In fact, I've actually been fighting more Kennens than ever before. Let's see, his cooldown on his W is going down at the early rank, so instead of 14-6, it'll be 13-6, and the damage is going up. Now that's when Kennen goes, yeah, and it just zaps everyone around him. So unfortunately, that makes Kennen way better at poking and attacking and harassing basically every champion in the game, because there's a lot of champions who you literally can't avoid getting a surge stack on you, and his W just hits you if you have a surge stack on you. So if all he does is he just throws a little lightning shuriken at you, he doesn't need to hit his Q, doesn't need to do any of that. If all he does is throw the little lightning shuriken at you, plants one stack, he can W to get another one. So they're buffing its damage and lowering its cooldown. This is really bad, and it pushes Kennen in a really unhealthy way, because he's just gonna be even better at dealing with champions who can't stop him, let's put it bluntly. His R is getting its AP ratio buffed. See, anyone got caught in Kennen's ultimate died from full in a stun with basically no counterplay. So they're buffing its scaling. I guess that's what they're doing. I don't know, man. Okay, so Lee Sin is actually the only energy champion, in my opinion, right now, who's not doing that well. and he's being buffed the least. They're buffing Kennen because go fuck yourself. They're buffing AKALI because once again, go fuck yourself. Lee Sin's actually doing quite bad right now. At the very least, he's not doing good. He is getting the energy cost on all his recasts reduced, but only by 5. So he is blatantly doing the worst of any of the energy champions that they're buffing. And instead of looking into that and being like, wow, we should buff Lee Sin, but not just buff every energy champion, because most of them are doing just fine. Instead of thinking like that, they're going, we should buff every energy champion because Lee Sin is underpowered. Also, Lee Sin should get the smallest buffs. Okay. Not sure I understand that one, but okay. Leona. Okay, Leona is really bad right now, and she's been bad ever since. If I look at this right now, let me give this an old looks good doodly doodah. I'll let you guys look while I look. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the last buff for her was pretty weak. She's 17th highest pick with a 48% win rate. Even in the Masters Plus, where she typically does best, she's 22 highest pick with a 46%. So she is doing abysmal. She's barely even, I wouldn't even say she's playable, to be blunt. So what they're doing is they're reducing the mana cost on her Q. That will help with the fact that she's too squishy. And they nerfed her tankiness because she was one-shotting people. And she needs her tankiness back. So by reducing the mana cost on her Q, that'll help get her tankiness back. Because now that you can't one-shot people, she's too squishy in long fights. Compared to other tanky champions, she's just not tanky enough. So by reducing the mana cost on her Q, this will make her tankier. Additionally, your ultimate will get a longer stun/slow duration. So because she's too squishy, by making her stun longer, it's going to make her tankier, and it's going to return those tank stats they took away from her a while ago. Okay. Lillia, Lillia is getting her damage against monsters increased. That's it. That's literally it. There's nothing really that special about this one, if I'm gonna be blunt with you. She's too weak in the jungle right now, and so they're making her kill the jungle faster. Although it's a little bit pushed into the late game because the 40 to 100, it's only going to 50 to 150. So like early game, she'll do, what is that, 25% more damage. Later in the game, she's gonna go to 50% more damage. I didn't really think that Lillia was too bad of a late game jungler, so I don't get it. I don't know. Was she not able to like solo Baron or something? I don't know, man. So Master Yi is one-shotting people and doing way too much damage. Remember, his ultimate has this cool thing it does, right? It's got this cool thing where whenever you get a kill, it resets the cooldown of your abilities by like 70% of their cooldown, right? So what they're doing is they're changing it to where they're nerfing his cooldown on his E at the later ranks, which will definitely stop him. Okay, the joke here is that his E cooldown is going from 18 to 14 to 18 flat. If Master Yi presses E and runs at you, you're either going to die or you're going to kill him. So by doing this, it doesn't really change anything other than maybe his jungling. I guess they're trying to slow down. What is their justification here? Master Yi's been doing pretty well with the last set of changes, achieving a relatively equal win rate across various skills of play. He's a little bit stronger than we'd like him to be, so we're taking down his access to E and true damage, especially in cases where Yi's opting to max E first. I don't really understand it. This seems like one of those changes where they nerf a champion just to lower their win rate, not to make them more balanced per se, not to make them more fair, not to make them more interesting. They're literally just saying, we want his win rate to not be as high as it was. We want it to be lower. So, yeah. Kiana is getting a nerf to her passive. I believe, yes, the AD ratio is going down. And they're also fixing a bug where First Strike would apply her passive twice. I don't know why, but basically there's this bug with First Strike where it would apply her passive, then she would literally do her passive a second time. This is why Kiana was running around one-shotting everybody. So if we actually look here at Masters Plus, I'm in bot. In mid lane, Kiana was literally the highest win rate mid laner on this patch. On the patch before that, she was the third highest win rate the patch before that. And I believe, yeah, this is when people were still building Gore Drinker, so she was only the 9th highest win rate. At any rate, Kiana has consistently been the highest period win rate champion for a very long time. So by reducing the AD ratio on her passive and fixing the first strike bug, now I'm actually, I should have shown you guys this before I closed that, so I'm gonna show it to you right now. If you actually look into her runes table, you can see first strike, which is barely picked in platinum, has a ludicrous 56% win rate. None of her other keystones come even close to that. Once you go to Masters Plus, you can see still first strike with a 54% win rate compared to, let's say, Electrocute's 48%, Conqueror's 52%. Even Conqueror, which is only being picked like 2 out of 100 games, 1 out of every 50 games in extremely niche, special situations, even that room is not performing as good as first strike. First strike is breaking Kiana. So they're fixing the first strike bug and they're nerfing her. Do they need to do both? I'm going to be completely honest. They might come back here. I do hate Kiana, and I think she's literally, I mean, as you saw, she's literally the most broken champion in the game right now. But applying her passive twice was a large part of that. Her passive was a good chunk of damage, and she's going to be losing, like, you know, mid to late game, she's going to be losing over 100 damage. Late game, she's going to be losing like 200 damage per proc, which she can proc, you know. So, I don't know. I feel like this one might be a little bit overkill. I'm not willing to say they shouldn't do it. I think they should do it. And, you know, basically get Kiana out of being the most broken champion in the game. And then later on, we could come back and we could discuss if maybe we over-nerfed her. That's all I have to say. So, Rammus is getting a change. They're not... Okay, so the people who are looking at this, you're all probably saying to yourself, Hashinshin, they're buffing Rammus? You bet he's already good. Okay, yes, I agree. He actually is already good right now. But what they're doing is they're not really buffing him in a way that takes what he's already doing good and buffs it. What they're doing is buffing him into the matchups where he's really, really bad and he can't get into range. So what they're doing is when he uses his ultimate, the range on his ultimate is going up from 600 to 800. The cooldown is going down in the early game. That one might be a bit sketchy. I'm not sure why I should do that, but I think what they're trying to do is push him more to the high ranks and out of the low ranks. So like his cooldown later in the game on his ult is going up, but early in the game the cooldown is going down. That will help the high ranks more than the early ranks. But the range is going up. The amount of range he gets with movement speed is going up, and the speed at which he dashes in his ult is going up. So he'll be able to jump farther, faster at you, and in the early game on a lower cooldown. So I'm assuming the intention here is to try to help him when he can't actually get into range, because what will frequently happen is Rammus will end up in matchups so he can't actually get into range. He's fighting too many people with too many kiting abilities, and he literally just can't get in range. So this is to try to get him into range. I mean, that's it. I'm not going to explain it any further. Shen's getting buffed. Now, here's the issue I have in Riot says, we're going to buff every energy champion, regardless of anything. We're going to buff them all. Yeah, okay. So the problem with doing stupid, and this is stupid buffs like this, where you just decide to buff every energy champion because we're buffing them all, is that you end up buffing champions who are already really good. Now, a buff is a buff. I mean, we can all agree on that, right? A buff is a buff. It doesn't matter how impactful the buff is. When you take a stat and you make that stat higher, the champion performs better. Shen does not need in any way to perform better. Shen is fine. Buffing Shen would be like buffing Aatrox. Both of them are fine. If you buffed Aatrox and you made his passive uncancelable, it would be a great quality of life change. It would make him way better. It would make him feel so much better and remove many frustrations. It would also make him very overpowered. Buffing Shen at all is a bad idea. Do you get it? Does everybody get it? You should not be buffing champions who are doing better. Oh, but he runs out of energy. Without his energy, what's he gonna do? I don't give a shit. You shouldn't be buffing him, period. That's it. Singed is just getting buffed because they nerfed everything about him, then nerfed Predator. So they nerfed his Keystone, and then they nerfed Singed, and now he's really bad. That's it. That's literally it. Much like I was saying when Singed got nerfed, I was a little bit sketched out by the fact they were nerfing the reason he was good, then nerfing him. So what they're doing is they're going back here. His passive will now give him more movement speed, which is a pretty good buff. They're giving it a less cooldown per target. So he currently has a 10-second cooldown per target to kill people. Or kill people, to get the movement speed, which will often lead into a kill, but you get the idea. So he can use that on allies, he can use that on enemies, right? So by reducing the cooldown and increasing the movement speed, Singed will be able to do a gravity speed boost where he runs through all his allies. You know, it's like it's like in a movie or something. I don't really know where I'm going with this one, but he kind of goes like this through all his allies, and then he just gets like a turbo movement speed, and then he runs up to the Wall of Helm's Deep and puts down the bomb. Do you guys remember that scene? Anyone watch Lord of the Rings recently? You know when the orc, he runs through all the other orcs and he's got the torch and he blows up the wall. Okay, anyway, so yeah. I'm making a joke because this is not like a super interesting buff, but it's a very impactful buff. Not every buff that's going to be impactful is interesting, but this buff will do a lot. He'll be able to leapfrog off teammates much more. In the laning phase, he'll be able to get away from lethal tempo users much more. It helps a lot of his bad matchups. It helps a lot of things about him. It's going to be good. This will help him significantly. In addition, his early game Insanity Potion is going back to where it used to be. So in the past, it was 30 to 90. Now it's going to be 30 to 100. So no matter what, Singed's late game got buffed. He got buffed. Period. He's really, really good right now. Okay. Well, I don't know if he'll be good. I'm guessing he'll be good again after this. That's what I'm guessing. Okay, so Sivir is very overpowered right now. I'm not going to go look at it. We all know this, right? Like, she's been pick, ban, and pro play. She's just really overpowered. High win rate, high pick rate, high ban rate. Really overpowered. So her ultimate is going up in cooldown. Her spell shield is going up in cooldown. And her attack damage growth is going down. So she'll do less damage with less spell shields with more time between her ultimates. That's it. It's good for this to happen. This is definitely a good thing for the game. These aren't really interesting. They're not mechanically changing anything about the champion. They're literally just toning down her stats. Okay, Talia. Talia was a little bit underpowered, and then they made her overpowered. I didn't see it coming, but it happened, and now she's overpowered, and now she needs to be nerfed. Shockingly. Should I have done a nerf Singed joke up here? I don't know. It feels overdone. Feels like everyone does that. So her Unraveled Earth, that is... Okay, so the problem with Unraveled Earth, I'm just going to explain this to you right now. They removed the, like the time it takes for the first rock to appear. So what happens all the time is you'll be playing a champion and he'll try to gap close into Talia. And as you're gap closing, she'll use Unraveled Earth and then you'll get stunned, take damage. Then she'll catapult you back because now you're stunned. She'll catapult you back through her Unraveled Earth. Then you'll get stunned again. And yeah, it's really frustrating. And there's basically nothing you can do about it as most melee champions. I mostly play Aatrox, so I can just, you know, fight her from range and do just fine with that. But if you're ever playing something like Jax or even Irelia or Renekton, any of these champions, there's nothing you can do because if you gap close on her at the exact moment she uses Unraveled Earth, you just get comboed and you die. And you basically just watch your keyboard as you die. So, yeah. I would have gone and increased the cast time or made the first rock take longer to appear. That's probably what I would have done, so that there's less chance of you jumping on her and you just instantly get dead. But okay, they're increasing the cooldown, so I guess there's more time in between her Unraveled Earths. I guess it still doesn't fix, in my opinion, the fundamental issue, but it will nerf her. There will be more times you can hopefully jump on her because she'll have a longer cooldown. In addition, her ultimate is getting its duration reduced. Didn't her ultimate used to last for like a billion seconds? In fact, I want to look this up because I'm like genuinely curious here. Okay, sorry, the wiki is being a laggy little thing. Whatever, it's Weaver's Wall. Let's see, duration, nope. Ah, it did used to be 8 seconds. I'm not crazy. You're crazy, chat. Okay, so this used to be 8 seconds duration. It's going down to 4. So basically, Riot is saying that, I mean, she'll still have an ultimate for sure. It'll still be an ultimate. It'll still do things. But they're definitely removing a lot of power from this ultimate. Yeah. Okay, so Thresh. Let me run you through my thought process on Thresh here, okay? I'm gonna Riot here. Wow, Thresh gets his Q cooldown reduced every time it hits an enemy? That's really powerful. We've had to nerf him a lot in the past because that makes him too strong. Let's buff it! That's it, that's literally what they're... Okay, so remember, every time Thresh hits a Q, its cooldown goes down. Now that cooldown going down isn't affected by ability haste. Most other abilities like this, I shouldn't say most of them, but a lot of them. No, I actually will say most. There's like only a couple left that still function like this because they kind of realize this shit gets broken. If you build a lot of ability haste on Thresh, you can get his Q cooldown into a way where you can basically Q into an E back into a Q. And it gets really frustrating and it's really hard to fight. So by reducing the cooldown in his Q, they're enabling you to do that even more, which in my opinion is a bad idea. Additionally, they're giving him more magic damage, which is also dumb. Because we don't need more damage in the game, right? That was the whole point. Thresh is supposed to be a control support. He lanterns allies away, he hooks enemies to try to go for kills, he flays people even in and out, he uses his ult to slow people. He's not supposed to be like a Blitzcrank, okay? Blitzcrank just kills people. Thresh tries to control the battle. By making both of them just champions that throw out hooks, like here's a problem fundamentally. If Thresh can kill people by hitting his Q, why would you play Blitzcrank? Do you get the problem here, Riot? You can't, particularly in the laning phase, because it's 20 flats, this mostly reflects the laning phase, you can't just do this shit where you just make champions do what other champions do. Anyway, Zed's actually getting a colossal wassail buff here. I don't think Zed's even bad. I'm gonna go look this up because I'm like 90% sure Zed. I think he's like underperforming, but no, he's not even. He's 50% win rate, 8th highest pick rate. At Diamond Plus, 51% win rate, 8th highest pick rate. At Diamond 2 Plus, he's 50% win rate, 10th highest pick rate. At Masters Plus, he's 51% win rate, 13th highest. Riot, what the fuck? What are you doing? What the fuck? What? And he's getting buffed? Okay, so his W currently, that's when he throws out his shadow. To go back to his shadow, he has a 2000 range. They're removing the limit entirely. And then they're also reducing the energy cost on his E. What the fuck, Riot? What are you doing? First Shen, now Zed? What the fuck? Lee Sin being underpowered doesn't mean buff 2 of the strongest champions in the game. How does that make sense? What follows? Let me draw some fucking paint for you. How the fuck does Lee bad? And then you're like, oh yes, the next obvious step. Buff Zed. How does this follow, Riot? What logic are you using to make this go into this? How does... Okay. Okay. So Divine Sunder is getting nerfed. Okay, so the problem is they made it worse into tanks, but they made it better into everyone else. Everyone else includes like 80 to 90% of the game. Tanks were like 10 to 20% of the game. So it got buffed against practically everybody and then nerfed into tanks. Yeah. Shockingly, now it's getting nerfed. The pre-mitigation healing is going from 65% to 55%. So it's losing a good chunk of its healing. It's like 17% of the amount of heals is going down. That will be really good. That should hopefully slow down some champions who are using it to just go unkillable late game. Jax, cough. Wukong, cough. Cough, cough. Mercurial Scimitar is getting Mundo buffed. I don't know why. I think these items are really bad for the game. Both Mercurial and Silver Dawn are being buffed. I truly believe in my heart of heart that this is a bad idea for the game. When you have strong items into champions like Malzahar and Mordekaiser that can remove their ultimates, those champions then need to be buffed because they now have items that hard counter them. Much like if these items removed Zed's ultimate, Zed would need to be buffed. But that's why they removed them from removing Zed's ultimate. Because when these items did remove Zed's ultimate, he needed to basically always need to kill you without his ultimate, which made him really overpowered. So Mercurial is getting 10 magic resist, and the movement speed's going from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. Silvermare is gaining 5 magic resist, and the tenacity and slow resist you get from activating it is going from 40% to 50%. I really don't think that these items are good for the game. I think obviously Mordekaiser is going to see his win rate lowered. I think obviously Malzahar is going to see his win rate lowered. I don't really understand. I don't believe that there is a good reason and justification for buffing these items. First Strike's getting nerfed. It's just overpowered right now. There's not much more to say about it. I frequently look at First Strike champions and I think, wow, they're doing a lot of damage and healing a lot. Not healing a lot, but generating a lot of gold off it. Frequently I'll see First Strike. It'll be generating like 900 to 1500 gold by mid to late game. And that's like half of an item, but it's not really even doing less damage. So it doesn't really make any sense. Nerfing it's a good idea, but here's the thing. Nerfing First Strike at the same time that they're nerfing Kiana. So they're nerfing Kiana by bug fixing her. They're nerfing Kiana by nerfing her passive. And then they're nerfing Kiana by nerfing First Strike. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm taking some issues with this one. I definitely agree with the First Strike nerf, but I'm a bit concerned that we might just be in a singed situation where we see Kiana getting buffed. And here's the thing, I never want to see Kiana buffed because anytime Riot buffs that champion, they're like, Kiana's like a tiny bit underpowered. She's gonna need 300 more health at level 18. And you're like, what? And they're like, yes, 300. She will need 300 more HP. And you're just like, okay. And then she just ends up being overpowered for like 6 months as Riot's like, oh no, Kiana's overpowered. We'll have to nerf her soon. Any day now. We'll get to it next month. Okay, some Clash shit, Ultimate Spellbook shit. I don't think anybody cares about this. Okay, so here's the problem to all of you guys. Due to inflation, transporting the RP is now more expensive because Riot needs to pay more gas money. Because when they load all the RP into the trucks, it's taking them way too much money to ship the RP cross continent in America and in Europe. The RP is actually mined in Russia as well. So the Ukrainian war is impacting their ability to get that RP out of the Russian soil and into German power plants. So the price of RP is going up. I shit you not, this is really happening. Yes, this is really happening. This is a real thing. Yep. Nothing more to say. Competitive systems, blah, 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 blah. Bug fixes. Okay, last time they split them. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Fix a bug where Yumi would be unable to use a swap summoner. That's Unsealed Spellbook. I don't give a shit. Fix a bug where Viego would look like a polymorph champion if he killed and possessed a champion under the effects of polymorph. So is there just Bunny Viego killing people? Then nobody made a video about this? Ugh. Fixed a bug where Belvis Royal Maelstrom would not cancel while casting your R and auto. Okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. Fixed a bug where Nyla wasn't removed from the game yet. Oh, good. Okay, no, but seriously, Nyla audible through the Fog of War. Her passive would trigger with Ocean Drake's buff. I don't really understand that. Fixed a bug where Distortion was doing slightly less damage at rank 3 for LeBlanc. Good, I guess. Fixed a bug where Evelyn's stealth would break after a target she killed entered a zombie form and then died again. Okay. Fixed a bug where single target range indicators would follow enemies through the Fog of War. Damn. Someone was really abusing that shit. That actually, I bet you a lot of scripts could use that. Fixed a bug where Rakan would automatically cast his second battle dance to an ally after using Flash. That sounds horrible. Imagine you E to an ally, then you like flash to get into range of your ultimate or something, and then it just immediately forces you to E back to your ally. Your team's like fucking spam pinging you, like ping, 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 ping. You're just like, stop, I don't know what happened. It's not my fault. Okay. Fixed a bug where Leandri's Lament burn effect was not working correctly. Not working correctly in what way, Riot? You're in the bug fix section. So, in what way is it not working correctly, Riot? Fixed a bug where Yone could activate abilities while in his spirit form, while locked in the Blast Cone knockback CC. So, Yone could literally cancel out of a knockback with his spirit form. I am not even surprised. Okay. Fixed a bug where Bladed Ring King was doing less damage if it was purchased after other items. That is good. When I think Bladed Ring King, my first thought is, damn, we gotta bug fix that item. It's not good enough right now. Fixed a bug where Swain's second E never move could pull targets that were in stasis. That, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure that shouldn't work. To be blunt, because you're not actually activating it on them. If we're using Magic the Gathering rules, you're not activating your second E on the opposing champion. You're activating it and then it's pulling anyone affected by your E. You're not being targeted, so it actually should hit you. Like if Vladimir is in his pool, then you should still get pulled by Nevermove, right? If Fizz was somehow on his troll pull, then he should still get pulled, right? So why would Stasis stop you from getting pulled? This is another bit of Riot actually is being a bit inconsistent, in my opinion. Fixed a bug where Rift Herald would not charge at towers if it spawned next to them. That's probably a good bug to fix, yeah? Okay. Monster Tamer, there's only 2? Oh, okay. Monster Tamer Lulu / Zapmaw. So it's a Pikachu joke. Pika. Wait, they actually gave Lulu and Kog'Maw matching skins? That's kind of amusing, I'm not gonna lie to you. They know that Kog'Maw only gets played with Lulu. So now there's like Xayah and Rakan, and now there's Kog'Maw and Lulu. Kog'Maw is now attached to Lulu. You can only play Kog'Maw with Lulu. They even get matching skins now. Monster Tamer Vigar. What's he taming? What's he doing? This doesn't make any sense. Actually, this is stupid. What the fuck is this, Riot? What do you mean he's a monster taming? What's he taming? This is... What? Monster Tamer Lulu. Yep, it's Lulu. I don't really like this skin. This seems very uninspired. I'm gonna be completely blunt with you. This seems pretty goddamn uninspired. Why does she have a shock stick? Is that how she tamed the Pikachu Kog'Maw? Is that how she keeps him under control? Is Lulu cattle prodding the Kog'Maw? Wait, someone call PETA. Monster, what is he taming? What is he doing? Why is this Monster Tamer? This is the most phoned in skin line I've ever seen. But I will be honest with you, it does actually look pretty good on Vigar. I'm gonna be honest. This one looks good. The Lulu one I could do without. That one's not very cool. The Vigar one though, I'm gonna be blunt with you. I kinda dig this one. I'm not gonna lie. This one I dig. This one, I'm behind this one. Zapma. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I just kind of phoned in. I don't know. This one probably seems like the special effects would make it good, though. I'm not sure what could save this Lulu skin. You think anyone's going to use this Lulu skin after like 7 days? It's going to be one of those skins you see for a little bit, and then they're just gone. You just never see them again. You guys know. There's skins like that. You know it. Especially with a champion like Lulu, where she already has so many skins. This is phoned in. Yeah. And that is it. Yep. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start. I need to go to Patreon here. We're gonna read the names of the Patreon subscribers, and then I guess that's it. If you guys have any questions, ask them now. I'll try to get to them after we have Patreon people read. So, you know, like the stream, subscribe, do all that stuff, and or sorry, like the video, and yeah, make sure to join my Patreon. You can see the link in the description. You can help my channel continue to not be dead. For as little as $3 a month, you can say, wow, I really like your content and would like to continue to watch your content forever. So without special, well, I guess, yes, with special. Without further ado, there we go. Let's read off the names of the Patreon members. So thank you. Ezekiel Quavez, Monica, Noxian Scion, Nicholas Hinderer, T the Fish, 3 and a Hook, Emiru, and Thigh, Blazin Rock, Christoph Marks, Crash Pinho, Genny Shelbert, Greg RR, Horace the Burb God, Joseph Stalin, Kokurli, Malice, Mao Runner, Nortgran, Omar Nunez, Philemon Landry, Quill of Anguish, Sophie, Sophisticated Fart, Stinky Ratman, Destroy, Used Car Salesman, Enzarine, Ben G, British Mapper, Creador, Dengda, Daniel Fiala, Daniel Huertas, Devin Gill, Eddie VCS, Yadgod, Eric Petinelli, Esteban Arias, Fell, Fanaku, Folyuki, Hun Arthur, Johnny Boy, Justicier, Kalfos Zeramar, Kujubai, Ludwig III, Manuel, Metal M. Morgan, Negative KDA, OMG Clover, Orehall Conite, Oz, PKZ, RH, Scorpion, Spook, Stickbird, Suki02, Tenchi Kanashisa, Terra, Tomato, Under, Uvo Plaja, Villain, Vivian, WLC League of Legend, Wolfman, Wan Shuchi, Adam Golding, Qingming Vang. That's weird. Why those ones come in lap? That's not alphabetical. Anyway, so well, you guys didn't really have any questions. Anyway, I'm gonna go over to my stream, I guess then. So everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for getting through here. I appreciate you, everybody. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.